Welcome to the Worst Fans Podcast, where Leia would like to take over as our host this evening to tell us about Marvel and how they're late all the time. Not really, it's DCEU who's late. And then we're going to talk about Werewolf at Night and the Mario trailer, including the voice talents of Chris Pratt. So, Leia, take it away. All right, so she's a little stage fright tonight, but we'll go ahead and put her back down and kick it off with the Mario trailer hit.
Yes.
Made by Universal Illumination. So I'm imagining, the talents of the Minions movie, Despicable Me.
Mm-hmm.
Shrek? Was Illumination part of it when Shrek was hit?
No, that was still DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
That was DreamWorks.
DreamWorks. Okay, yeah. I thought Universal was somehow tied to DreamWorks. Maybe not. Anyway, the trailer, let's say, we'll go with you, Marco. Your thoughts on the Mario trailer now that we've finally freaking seen it after I don't know how much development.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer looks amazing, to be honest. I'm actually very impressed with Illumination's style in this movie. I mean, some of their works I was not really impressed with, like Life of Pets. I was never a huge fan of that style. Yeah. Even Despicable Me has some funky characters, but I like Despicable Me as a movie. But this one is actually like pure. It looks just like Mario in a movie. Like it's perfect. And I love the intro with Bowser coming on his ship and then just going to basically him wreaking havoc in the Mushroom Kingdom. So I'm excited to see where that leads in the future.
It was funny how I'm watching it and a part of me forgot this was about the movie. It wasn't like the next Mario game coming out, It's like, this is so cool. It's almost like Mario on next gen consoles or something. That's what it kind of felt like. I was like, wait, nope, it's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
All right, Buck. I know pretty much what you think. We all think the same thing. We like it, but go ahead and let's hear your detailed thoughts.
No, yeah, I thought the trailer was great. I'm surprised it took them this long to actually do a Super Mario Brothers animation movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, from what I saw, man, the animation looks beautiful. Bowser, Jack Black is great. I mean, and from what I saw, everything looked great. Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's just a little teaser, So it's just a little taste of what's to come. But from what I saw from it, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I know everyone's complaint is Chris Pratt, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let's face it. It was what, like 3-5 words.
Yeah.
That were spoken.
It's maybe time to.
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, people say, "Oh, it just sounds like Chris Pratt," but honestly, I did hear a sense of. You could tell he was trying to do a little kind of accent.
Yeah.
Like it was a little New York.
Yeah.
But
something he was working on it, but like I think
it's too early to tell. I mean, the whole thing is if his voice is gonna match Mario's look, and that's the problem. If we're gonna see Mario, or we're gonna see Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
we'll just see. I mean, hopefully that's not the case, but let's see.
Yeah, I guess ever since Mario in a video game spoke, it's been the one actor and voice actor. I can't think of his name, but I've heard it a lot this week.
Yeah.
So we have that sound in our head, that voice.
The idea, right?
Yeah. The only thing I could think of prior to that, and Marco, you were definitely not around at this time, was the old Mario cartoon back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Buck? Like it was.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It was totally like New York sounded like it was a little too much.
Like from Brooklyn kind of accent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't like a heavy Italian like.
Yeah. I mean, you might have been of Italian descent, but Brooklyn,
Right,
like,
Brooklyn descent, right.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was actually from like born and raised in Italy. Of like, oh, mamma mia, It wasn't like that.
And truth be told, when that came out, it's been a while. No one thinks about this, but when Mario 64 came out, we heard that we're like, geez, like they really went up the like exaggerated Italian man sound,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think you said it, Buck. They've said a few lines. You can't hear that much out of that. Like when he has a conversation with somebody is when we're really gonna be like, okay, I got it now. This is what he sounds like. And the next trailer hopefully has some of that.
Yeah.
What about?
Well,
go ahead.
What made it worse was that he said that he's really working on the voice and he's gonna do something really different. It's gonna. So when we heard so far from what was just said, it's like It kind of sounds like Chris Pratt, but
Yeah.
again, it's only 5 words, I think. So it's early.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Well, what's kind of funny is I only thought about this just now as we're saying this. I don't know why, but Ryan Reynolds did Pikachu, and he did it just like Ryan Reynolds does all Ryan Reynolds voices in live action movies, even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like
that's a story though. That's a different like scenario. You know what I mean?
So I don't, but I mean, I guess I know the story behind the movie. I get what you're saying, but I'm kind of like, okay, but it's still Pikachu, and that's supposed to be in the, that Nintendo verse.
Right.
Kind of just because it's not animated, it's like still you see Pikachu now. At least I do. I sometimes imagine Ryan Reynolds' voice, and I think that's a similar. I know, but you are heavily in the Pokemon verse. I'm like, someone who didn't grow up with it.
It's like when you think of Pikachu, you don't necessarily think of the Detective Pikachu. That's just one game that the movie is based off of, and it's just.
I didn't even know it was a game.
Yeah, it was a game originally, and they used the voice of Ryan Reynolds to voice Detective Pikachu. He didn't have a voice in the game; it was just words.
Well, was it a game or was it an anime? I mean,
no,
it was an anime first, right?
The game Detective Pikachu. It was a game first.
Oh, it was a game. Oh, yes. The actual game was
Detective Pikachu, and the movie was based off that specific game.
Got it. Right. I didn't know that. Okay.
I'm just straight saying it was not long after that Sonic happened. I think Sonic might have done. I'm judging early, but they might have done it best because they gave me an actor I didn't even know who he was. But I'm like, Sonic doesn't really, in my head, have a voice either. I know he's been in cartoons, but I guess I didn't watch him.
But I think the voice actor for Sonic sounds closer to the game, like a little bit.
Does he speak in the game? That's the problem.
He does. Yeah.
I'm afraid I haven't played a Sonic game since like Sonic 2.
He says voice lines.
Okay, that's why I don't.
You know what I'm curious is when the Sonic movie came out, when the trailer came out, it was very controversial because the look of Sonic, fans were not happy. And it was so bad that they actually changed
the animation,
the look of him to make it look more like the game. So I wonder if the real trailer for Super Mario Brothers comes out and people are still not happy with the voice, if they will actually change out the voice.
I don't think so. I think it's possible.
I mean,
look, let me tell you, it would be cheaper to do that than to change the whole animation of a character that they already laid out for a movie.
True.
I don't know.
But I think Nintendo is one of those companies that like doesn't like to admit when they're wrong.
Oh, like Disney, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it's
2 peas in a pod.
True.
Like so when they announced Chris Pratt for the Mario movie, they're like, "Oh, cool guy, Chris Pratt is playing Mario."
They did it because it's a name. You know, he's a lister.
And we have
like most of the cast that's
Jack Black as Bowser, Donkey Kong, Seth Rogen. Like it's
And here's the thing: I know voice actors I've heard are kind of upset. I don't blame them. That's what they do, and that's their specialty. But I've seen a lot of these people in animated movies doing voices. Like Jack Black was in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt did Lego Movie, 2 of them now.
Seth Rogen was also in Kung Fu Panda.
I mean, look at Shrek. Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. It's just it's very hard when it's a video game world because then we're gonna associate the celebrities with these video game characters, even though in our minds we have those voices already for the video game characters. So
it's funny that you say it though. It's like as soon as Sonic happened, when Pikachu happened, I was like, maybe they'll make a Mario movie. But then when Sonic happened, I was like, Nintendo's chomping at the bit. They're probably in progress right now to make a Mario movie. So
they're gonna make a whole Super Smash Brothers like trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're all gonna meet into one multiversal type of movie.
Well, yeah. If this succeeds, then you're talking about
Zelda and
I think that's already
Metroid. Yeah.
I bet those screenplays are being chopped right now. They're ready to go and announce.
Again, why did it take so long? Is my question. Like,
because Nintendo takes forever to do things.
Also, I think they probably never considered animation until recently. I don't know why, but I think they probably, and for the longest time, were looking at, should we do live action? I mean, that's what they did with Mario.
Yeah.
And they're probably like, should we do live action Zelda? Because that could be really cool if they ever did.
Well,
but,
it's also known that most video games adapted to movies don't do very well either.
Yeah, and I think they did pay attention to that. So. Yeah, I think they were like, that's not a good idea. And so when they saw the success of Sonic, I bet they're waiting because Sonic was successful. They made a sequel. Yeah. And they're like, okay, that worked. Let's go with it. And we did Pikachu kind of, to dip our toe in the water with a mixed Roger Rabbit style. So
yeah. Also,
all right, I think
I mean, I also think Nintendo is one of those companies that can kind of stay behind everyone else and see everyone else go forward because of their name. Like, for example, their games and the gaming products. The Nintendo Switch is like an exclusive Nintendo product. They don't have any PC games. They don't have anything towards gamers, but they're still a top selling video game company because of their exclusivity. They come out with the same game every year, Pokemon. It's the same game, it's just a little bit different, and people still buy it because it's Pokemon. So they're not in a rush to make a movie because they're making money everywhere else. So I think they just wanted to really sit down and like take their time with it. I think that's why they took so long to see how successful it could be. Like, for example, like watching Sonic and Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, not to mention it's good timing because all the Universal parks are about to get their
Super Mario World.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's pretty sweet. All right. I think we nailed that one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So next, let's move over to, we're here in October, and kind of an interesting surprise none of us saw coming. And even when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, which is Werewolf by Night, a special presentation on Disney Plus. And honestly, they had me the moment the credits started rolling, and I was like, this feels so much like a classic horror movie. I got into it, and like the telling of the tale, like the map and the ancient, drawings, and I was like, I'm in. I'm already into this thing. Admittedly, once the acting kind of got started, I was like, yeah, all right, I'm maybe back up a little bit. It wasn't like I just totally took you in, a little corny, but I dug a lot of the vibe. I mean, especially I don't want to keep going here. What else? What other thoughts do you have, guys?
I mean, I think it was one of Marvel's more entertaining projects in the recent shows and specials. I think they're going to continue this special layout a little more because of how positive the feedback's been. I mean, the CGI alone was actually very impressive for being like a little special. I enjoyed the CGI of Man Thing.
Actually, I heard Man Thing was practical effects. Actually.
Well, like his eyes, I think was CGI, and like the movement from his mouth was CGI. But like obviously his whole body was practical. But there were some like snippets, So I like the way they made Man Thing look.
Yeah, go ahead, Buck.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I was only going to counter. I said because you said CGI. I was like, actually, what kind of made me happy was I don't think I saw much CGI. I felt like it was so much practical.
Right.
Especially seeing Man Thing when you do see him and his like tentacles are hanging. I immediately went back to like the Jim Henson, Muppet, not Muppet. Well, I guess they're Muppets, but like all the old '80s practical effects monsters from like Labyrinth and stuff like that. Dark Crystal,
like even
like that's really cool.
Yeah, but even when Man Thing goes on like a rampage when he kills people, like when he smashed that guy's head, for example, like that looked good. Like it was a good effect. Even if it was in black and white, I was still impressed.
Yeah,
I liked it. I mean, it was definitely different, and I liked the horror element in MCU. It was pretty cool. I just it was 55 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It was short. I mean, I really liked what I saw, but I kind of was like, all right. I mean, I liked it. I wish I could see more of this world. I mean, is that it? So I mean, is all we're gonna get?
I don't think that's all.
I don't think so, but no. Yeah, I get you.
Because I heard this was announced when on D23, but I didn't make a big thing out of it because I thought, okay, well, I don't know much about it, so let's just see when it comes out. I thought it was gonna be a series. I thought it was gonna be at least like 8 episodes. I didn't know. I had no idea that it was just going to be like just kind of like a one-off.
I don't know why I thought I knew up front it was like a movie, a one something. I don't know if it's gonna be 50 minutes, but I think
if it was a movie, it would have been nice to at least have an hour and a half. I mean, all right, a little more. But like I said, I'm not. That's just nitpicking. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool. But the black and white added a lot of that classic horror element too. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't bored at all, so I was.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Yeah.
I guess when you really look at it, none of us are truly exposed to much of this stuff because it was old. But they did have a lot of like horror comics, and they maybe with Sony and Morbius and even Blade, like they're kind of. I have a feeling this is gonna link up into a few things. Like even if we get a little taste of that Bloodstone cult, I don't know what these guys were called, Bloodstone Hunter monster thing. that could get referenced in Blade, which I know we'll talk about a little later. But
Yeah.
I think there is going to be ties to this stuff, and Marvel's good about that. Like they give you something you don't think is going to be real, like What If, and then before you're like, oh my god, that turned into something that I'm referencing now in Doctor Strange or whatever. So
Yeah.
all right, right on. How about I think I was fooled into thinking it was more violent than it was, because as I'm watching it, I'm like, is this gory? Like I can't tell because it's black and white.
Yeah.
And then the sounds were so good because you couldn't see a lot of that gore, but you could hear squishes and crunches. And I was like, when that one big, like I kind of was a Scottish guy, I can't remember, but he took the girl's head and he was like, wham!
Yeah,
like smashed her on that, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Her face is gonna be done."
Yeah.
But they kind of Disneyed it because as soon as you see her, she's not even bleeding. It's just like, "Oh, I got smacked."
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were gonna reveal that she wasn't human, but I'm like, wait a minute, so she's human and she hasn't, like, her head's not bashed. I mean, that's a pretty big dude.
Like that crunch, exactly. A big dude on the stone. I expected to see like crushed in face, like just.
I thought the gore was pretty good. I mean, for the most part, from what I saw, I mean, it was pretty decent.
Yeah,
Yeah, severed arm and.
I think the only thing I was kind of taken back was I had heard before it came out that it was they were surprised how scary it was. It was really, really scary. I mean, it was. I wasn't scared. Not even for a second. I was intrigued. I wasn't scared.
I was more like impressed with it more than scared of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if anything, this is a really good introduction for the type of like monsters that they're introducing, like werewolves, vampires, like those type of genre monsters, because now it might be a good leeway into Blade. But yeah,
you would think so.
You would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. All right. Hopping over to the other side of the railroad tracks here. DC has had a bit of news lately. Maybe more like leaks, forced leaks. But not Chris Rock, Jesus. Chris the Rock Johnson has decided to. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Dwayne the Rock Johnson has been really pushing his social media and trying his best to inform all of us that Superman is at some point going to be in
actually
Black
saying
Adam.
it, but pretty much
he's not saying it.
Yeah, but yeah,
he's saying it. It's like they probably have like scripted, on this date in October, you're going to tweet something that sounds like he's in it, and then you're going to say the same thing on an interview, and then you're gonna be quoted in a magazine saying, on this planet.
It's all about the marketing push, right?
You got to do it,
Curiosity to see the film.
Yeah, because the way he words it, it's like Black Adam is the most powerful being on Earth.
Yeah,
but the most powerful being in the universe has been on the sidelines for too long. Like that's like what he said in the interview. So there's a lot of things he could be talking about, not necessarily Superman, but we all know who he's talking about.
Yeah,
because at this point, would he actually tease that it's Superman when it's something else and just make us so pissed off that we all hate it at that point? Like that's what would happen.
I would never watch a DC movie again.
Yeah.
At this point, for all this teasing they're doing, they had better deliver. And part of me fears that it's going to be kind of like, okay, movie, and then we wait for the mid credits and it's like so minuscule. Maybe it's a good thing just to see Cavill's face.
It's another Shazam where it's just Superman.
They said, now this isn't a spoiler because again, this is all rumors. This is
rumors,
the movie premiered in Mexico.
If you don't like rumors, go ahead.
Right, yeah. If you don't like rumors, just get out now. But again, this hasn't been fact checked because I guess it hasn't premiered here. But they said that Henry Cavill does show up as Superman in a post-credit scene in front of this woman, this lady's character.
I don't know. I can't even name either.
Yeah. Well, anyway, she's
Wanda?
the leader. She's like the leader of the Suicide Squad and.
Her. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he goes there. He goes, we need to talk about Black Adam.
Yeah.
And it had the old Richard Donner Superman theme, not the Man of Steel theme. had that, but it was Henry Cavill, which
And
that's all I
supposedly
care about.
a more classic looking
A classic
Superman
looking
suit.
suit, right? No,
Damn
no, no.
right.
It looked the same, like from like the first one. It wasn't the black suit that was shown in obviously in the
Oh,
Justice League.
it was still from
Right,
Man of Steel
right.
at least.
And
Thank
as some
God.
people kind of split, they're like, "Oh man, I want the Man of Steel theme," which honestly I do too because I love that theme. But
Yeah,
honestly, I mean, I just want confirmation that Henry Cavill is back
true.
and that we're gonna get a Man
Yeah.
of Steel sequel. That's all I care about, you know. And if it takes Black Adam to push it to be like to bring him back, because you know Dwayne is saying, "Oh, because everybody wants to have Black Adam and Superman go at it." Do they really? I've never heard a lot really say that, but if you say so, sure. I don't really care. Just
Really?
make it happen. You know, like
That's a
I've never
great
heard
point.
I've never heard anyone say, "Man, you know what needs to happen? Black Adam and Superman need to go at it." They need.
Yeah,
I've never heard that from anybody. But if he
never.
thinks so, hey, whatever it takes, Rock, bring back our boy. Yeah, all right. And he's like, I won't watch it. Sure, I'll watch it. You know, I'd rather see
Sure.
Superman versus Darkseid. You know, but I mean, that's fine. We can lead up to that. I'm cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's really all it is. I hate to say it, but I haven't terribly been excited for Black Adam. It's been the potential promise of having Henry Cavill back in it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's really the only thing.
Yeah.
I will say I'm excited to see. You know, we'll get Hawkman on the screen for the first time.
I'm
Well, I
excited for
like the whole
Doctor Fate.
Justice and that
Yeah.
whole league. I don't know what it's called
JS
again, but
Justice Society.
Society. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
There's
Fair.
actually a theory on whether or not Black Adam takes place in the same universe as you know, Henry Cavill's, you know, like they just, you know, what we've seen so far in DCEU, or
Mhm.
if that takes place like at Earth 2 or something. So who knows?
Yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
I really could. I mean, my fear is though, if it's just a little tease and there's no fight at all, which is probably what it's going to be based on
Yeah.
that. I don't know how Mexico got a premiere. I mean, we never heard anything about that, but I heard that same
Yeah.
video you did. Anyway, maybe they got a stolen reel or something and played
Yeah.
it. But if what that means is though, we have no slated Black Adam or Superman sequel right now, so the potential would be like, I guess they're going to fight in another universe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
I don't
I'm sorry,
know.
yeah, another world.
Yeah.
Sorry, God, another movie. Because what we have right now is what, The Flash, Aquaman,
Shazam.
Shazam 2. That's about it. And Black Adam, I guess. is the other one.
What
Yeah.
was that?
Yeah.
My phone, sorry.
Um,
Yeah. So you know, but you know, my fear is too is that the fact that Dwayne isn't pushing this whole thing with again, not saying it, but pretty much saying about Superman and everything to get people to watch. That kind of scares me into thinking maybe the movie's not that good, so they're trying to pull everything they can to get people to watch this movie. And if that's the case, then just having Henry in the movie is not going to do any good because if this movie bombs,
yeah,
that's basically throwing everything out the window because
that's
if it doesn't
too.
make money,
Yeah. That's my point.
not
That's why
good.
it's like there's
Yeah.
nothing slated yet. If this movie doesn't
Yeah.
cut it, they're going to say, we brought Henry Cavill back and it did make a difference. We're done. We're starting
Yeah.
everything over, you know?
So it'll be
So,
all for nothing. So
Yep.
yeah.
I mean,
And
if it's not that good, it at least has to make money. If it doesn't do that,
yeah.
then
And all it takes is one of these suits to go, yeah, that was a fun idea we had a few months ago. Let's say it's next year already, and they're like, no one's talking about this anymore. We're not going to do it. You know, forget it. We're done with this. So,
yeah.
but what would be cool is because they have held off. They've had to move things back with the madness from Ezra
and
Miller.
that stuff. Yeah.
So everything's gotten pushed back for DC that was slated to come out. I mean, wasn't Black Adam supposed to be last summer or spring even? I don't know. Last
Most
summer.
of these movies, I think, were
All of them,
supposed to
yeah.
come out. I think every movie that DC has right now sidelined was supposed to come out already. I think.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
and they just been pushed back. So
They pushed back, and
Yeah.
we think a lot of the Michael Keaton stuff from Flash was supposed to tie into Batgirl, and that's
Yeah.
maybe partially why. I know, like they said, oh, it was just horrible. It's not
I
about
think they
caliber,
changed
but
all that because there've been rumors that there's
Yeah.
been heavy like reshoots from the Flash of late.
So let's throw this cool idea in there. Maybe they did a reshoot fight and it has Black Adam Superman in the Flash.
Maybe.
That would be way exciting.
Yeah.
I
Keep hoping the
guess.
Flash is good, but
Hey, maybe they'll have a bigger role for Ben Affleck too. Maybe they'll change his fate, you know, because for a long
Yeah.
time they rumored that he was going to die in that movie. Maybe that's not the case anymore, you know.
especially with Cavill, like
Yeah.
Cavill sneaking his butt around, like, hey, I'm kind of back. It's like, well,
Yeah.
Affleck. So this kind of ties into the hype Dwayne The Rock Johnson is able to create.
Yeah.
He's never really been on the. We're getting into the idea of like, would he be a good guy to be the face of DC pictures or films, similar to Kevin Feige? From what I understand, Feige actually knows the stories in the comics. I'm not sure how much The Rock really does. I think he's really into making Black Adam because he's like, I'm just so perfect for this, and I want to make it awesome.
He got pissed off because the original suit had padding. He's like, "Get rid of this crap. I don't need no padding.
Oh, padding.
Just I have natural, man. Yeah."
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah. He got pissed off. He's like, "Are you kidding? Put padding on my suit? Do you know who I am?"
Yeah. Do I look like Zach? What was his name? Zach Levi?
Yes, Zachary Levi. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Added Shazam suit.
Yeah.
So, I'm not one to say I think he's the guy that could totally save it, but he's got a way to he's clearly made things happen that I don't think were possible with Warner Brothers before, but he's probably talked to the right people to say, let's get Henry Cavill back. It's what people want. It's what the fans want. Why are we not doing what the fans want? Are we freaking idiots? Like, I feel like that's what Kevin Feige's making happen. He's like, the fans want it. We're going to hook it up. It might take some time, but we're going to make it happen. Yeah. Star Wars doesn't have that. Lucasfilm doesn't have that. DC doesn't have that. They suck.
Yeah.
So maybe you just need someone to be that hype train. And he's definitely a hype train. Maybe not like an overall storyteller, but if he can get people to make suits, write the right checks to the right actors and do things, I'm up for it. I think he'd be a good job. I don't know if anyone's even talking about this.
I agree. I agree with you.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's all good. But I honestly think if he has the power to actually bring back Henry Cavill as Superman, which I think he was written off already.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. I mean, I like the fact that what he says is, it's important to tell a good story, but also to listen to the fans and what the fans want, and that's important. And if he can do that, I'm all for it, honestly. Because right now, I mean, anything that DC's done hasn't been great as far as management wise. So why not?
You get something up your sleeve, I can tell.
Yeah, the only reason I disagree is because the Rock, yes, he can get stuff done when it comes to bringing in people into a movie or like exciting his fans towards a certain project that he's working on. I think that's the Rock's problem, though, when it comes to just staying with one project. I don't think he would be capable of just staying with DC. He likes to do a lot of projects at the same time. So I think him being a figure like Kevin Feige, I don't think it's possible, because Kevin Feige has been purely with Marvel for like over 20 years. I mean, or not 20, like over 10 years, whatever it is. But like that's all he's been doing. And I don't think The Rock has the capability to do that, since he likes to do so many things at once. Every year, The Rock's in like 20 movies.
Excuse me.
So, he's even in video games now. Yeah, every year he's in 20 movies, at least.
10 more movies this year.
A show, a movie. He rapped this year. Now he has a music career. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
We gotta play that. Someone lay that track down on the edit.
He's a jack of all trades. Right?
Yeah. So I think it's hard for him to concentrate on one project, which would be DC. I feel like he'd get bored. So I think he just likes the fact that he's Black Adam.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just saying, if it was brought up to a CEO meeting where, hey, I'd be like, all right, cool, I'm down with it. Why not? But
I feel like he's got more vision. Like, we had the Walter Hamada, I think is the name that sticks to mind, who kind of came on board with Aquaman. And I think he was the one that's like, we're going to lighten this up. We're going to tone it down from the Zack Snyder, Mean Boy verse. And we're going to make it a little funny. We're going to make it open up to families more and add more color. And that was good for a minute. Like, 2 movies were like $1 billion or close to it. And then it just didn't happen anymore. It was like, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So I think when they just get a new guy in there, or girl, I guess, it's a very suit move. And I think this is closer to I guess he could be considered a suit move because it's very publicity like. But what you said makes a good point. He's gonna be maybe not bored, but he's just like, sorry, I want to make Fast and Furious. God knows what number.
Exactly. He can do it, but if he put a 5-year contract in front of him, he's not signing that. He's not going to do it.
If he could just be the guy to, maybe he doesn't need to be Kevin Feige. He just needs to say, let's put the meeting together. I'll set it up. Get everyone there. We're going to make Ben Affleck come back. We're doing this. Get off your ass, get over here. We're making it happen. What other excuse do you have to continue down a different road right now? Like, I think he's just the guy who has the power to make things happen, and maybe that's all we need. So,
yeah, maybe for like a year. That's probably the most he'll do it for.
Yeah. So, I guess any final
Again,
thoughts?
it all depends how Black Adam performs. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
We know the truth. It's going to be exactly what we think it is. Everything we saw in the teasers and trailers, you know, a year ago, 6 months ago, we're going to get that. And I don't know how y'all felt about it, but I think we're all kind of close to the same page.
Yeah.
It's just going to now have the promise, whether it's empty or not, of Henry Cavill. So,
yeah.
Right on.
Sweet.
All right, gents. So funny, the parallels of something going bad in a DC movie, and it puts everything behind. And that's kind of the main topic, because fresh off the newsstand yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, is Marvel yesterday. This is maybe the first time we've seen this big of a this much at once, but four movies at least are getting delayed now. So that's a story.
5 of one untitled one, right?
I mean, they announced Deadpool about 3 weeks ago. Now it's supposed to come out next year, so that's been delayed to 2024 now.
Yes.
With a bunch of other movies. We're talking Avengers Secret Wars pushed back to 2025.
Yeah.
Blade right now is supposed to come out next year. That's been pulled off altogether. We'll talk about that in a second. Fantastic Four was going to come out in 2024. Now it's 2025. And then there's an untitled Marvel project that was supposed to come out in 2024. That's been pushed back to 2025, which I think was probably an X-Men movie, but they're not saying what it is. But yeah, I mean, are we going to have any MCU movies between the next 2 years to even see? I mean, this is really
after having like 3 a year.
Crazy. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think there's still gonna be Marvel movies, and we still have Ant-Man Quantumania coming out.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's all next year, right?
Yeah.
So that's next year.
Yeah, I mean, this year only has Wakanda forever.
Okay, Wakanda, right? So we have Wakanda forever.
It had movies already.
Quantumania. What else? What else do we have?
Yeah, what's 23? What's 20? Name the slate besides Quantumania.
It's gotta be something else.
There's gotta be other things coming out. I mean, there's a lot of Disney Plus stuff coming out.
That's what they're thinking. They're thinking they're going to survive by that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know though. We might all start to, lose our.
Let's get into the fact as to, or the theory as to why this is happening. Why so many?
It sounds like Blade was the first one to be on the slate. Maybe not the first.
Well, Blade had issues last week. They announced that
lost the director.
They lost director. And it was only a 90-page script that they had or something. This project was announced in 2019.
Yeah.
And now Mahershala Ali is very upset with the whole production. And now it's been pulled all together. Like, it was supposed to come out next year. Now they're not sure when it's going to happen.
Honestly, good job, Kevin Feige. Because I would rather them take their time and come up with something good rather than something that's
I don't want crap either. Right. And they said they had like 2 action scenes that were kind of lame. They weren't. And... Look. Here's my thing. Here's what's happening with Blade, with Fantastic Four, with X-Men, even X-Men, which hasn't been announced or anything like that. The problem is a lot of the MCU has been based, especially Phase 1, Phase 2, is based on characters that they created themselves. Iron Man, Captain America.
Wait, what?
Even Hulk to a certain extent, and some of the other characters that were in the MCU, right? They weren't about movies that were previously made, like X-Men or Blade, that had rated R versions. Even Deadpool that got pushed back now. Deadpool 3.
Oh, it's original. It's their first try at it.
Right. So now the MCU. Sorry for not clarifying, but now that's MCU is doing their own version and not rated R versions or PG-13 versions of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's difficult to pull off, especially with Blade and Deadpool. Because Blade, I mean, I don't know if you remember the first Blade, but that first scene where you see him like in that rave bar blood, I mean, that was awesome, bloody as hell, right? How do you top that scene going to the MCU and kind of a PG version of that, of a vampire? I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you're going to top that. See, because they're trying to write this in and be like, man, how are we going to top what this rated R version did and make it our own and have people actually like it. Because all they're gonna think of, they just compare it to the originals. Same with X-Men. Same with Deadpool is not going to be nearly as violent or as gory as the 20th Century Fox version. Now they have Wolverine in there to make it seem like, okay, well, we're making up for that because we're throwing Hugh Jackman back in here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be hard to write these movies, and convincingly try to bring the crowd into saying, all right, yeah, cool, they're in the MCU. Look how much crap Daredevil's getting right now. They're like, oh man, it hasn't come out yet. They're like, man, it's no way it's gonna be as cool as the Netflix version. Look what it did to Kingpin already. Hell no, man, this is gonna suck. Yeah. So I think that's why it's being pushed back. A lot of these projects.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think it just started because Blade is gonna have events just like what you said is a great point. Let me not discredit that. I never even thought about the fact that Blade's rated R. That's right, because I knew Deadpool was.
Yeah.
And I kind of figured they would pull a Once Upon a Deadpool. What was it they did with the Princess Bride PG-13 version of Deadpool 2?
Yeah, Once Upon a Deadpool.
I was like, well, that's Disney's best shot at like keeping basically the same comedy, but like just fourth wall bleeping everything and right. Getting close but cutting. Blade, you're right though. How do you make? You'd have to be really careful about how you make it violent and cool at the same time. Daredevil, there's no way. You can't smash a head in the door in PG-13 like you saw in Kingpin and Daredevil.
Yeah. Even they said that Deadpool will be rated R, but there's no way it's gonna be a hard R like it was in the two sequels. No way.
It's like the
do you remember those sex scenes?
Yeah.
It's just like no way. There's no way they're gonna do that.
It can't. Not with Disney.
Not with Disney.
No way.
Mean, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So, but what I was gonna say is actually I didn't think of that, but my thoughts are it's the same thing as DC. They're having a problem with one movie, and every other movie takes events from that movie to continue. And like, wait a minute, if we can't get this one out, we can't release this movie until you've seen what happens in Blade. Mm-hmm. So I think they're at a writing problem now, where it's like it's a chain reaction, and without Blade, just like without Flash, they said we're gonna have to pull back on Batgirl. In fact, it's too much to change, and it kind of sucks anyway. Let's just bag it. I don't think they're going to bag anything Marvel. If anything, maybe the Untitled one, because we have no idea what the hell that is. No real idea.
Yeah.
That's what I truly think it is. If you look at the time period, it's like it's enough time to do some heavy reshoots, perhaps, and reconfiguring. But it's not. It's a lot, but it's not like 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the things that they've been criticized on recently, especially in the recent projects, is their visual effects. Especially a lot of the visual effects people, they've already reported that they have stressful work environments and impossible deadlines to meet. So maybe Marvel's finally listening and giving them some more time to work on the visual effects on all those movies, because they are shooting up a lot of movies. I just looked it up. I mean, 2023 has The Marvels is another movie coming out. Guardians 3 as well.
All right, we're good for 23. That's 3 movies. That's 3 movies. That's fine. Yeah.
And then Quantumania. So
24 then has how many? Because y'all probably have that list in front of you.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. They're slated, but the
new slates are
sure if they're gonna come out. So I don't even know. Yeah.
But the new slates are like at least 2 or 3 in 24.
Yeah, and then some are 2025. Like Fantastic Four is 2025. Like
I saw that and I'm like, man. I'm gonna be I don't know, a really old man by then. 2025 sounds so far away.
I'm gonna be like 46 or 47.
It's like when they announced that Star Wars game that's never gonna come out. It's like they said this will be 7 years down the line. It's like, get the shit out of here.
Yeah,
13,
Eclipse. 13. Yeah, Eclipse.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen. All right,
never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. I doubt
13 was like delay, and then they said we quit. Then they're like the Ragtag Project, the Amy Hennig.
Man, that Eclipse trailer, the Eclipse trailer is so detailed and so beautiful. I mean, I don't think they would really
But the thing is, it wasn't any gameplay. It was just video.
Yeah. No, but it's still a project. Like, it's still a company working on that project. I don't know. It's a lot of. That was a lot of effort put towards that cinema. It looked like a movie.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny the quality. It was just, it's such a tease, and I'm like, what? This is
a tease for a project is going to come out like 5 years later.
I mean, no, they said 7 years later.
7 years later. Sorry,
it was like 7 years. Are you kidding me? Like that's. I'm sorry, that's never going to happen. Let's just look at Star Citizen. Star Citizen.
Oh,
right?
don't even get me started on Star Citizen.
Who pledged? I know at least one of you did. Yeah. So
You
Star
guys talked
Citizen.
about it all the time, but no, I never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I brought it up the other day because I happened to visit the website. It's somewhat related to this shit we're talking about delays. So I went to the website. I was like, hey, let's see if anything's any news. And I went to Squadron 42 because that's the single player game
with Mark Hamill. Yeah,
Mark Hamill, like God, everybody, like so many good people. And I was like, it had like update status or status update, and I was like, oh, let me click that, and it was a link to a YouTube video. YouTube video from 2018. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, this thing's done. They just keep making more money, and they just crossed a new threshold too. I think it's now like $1 billion they have made, and it's like, why bother releasing at this point?
It's like Alpha 4.8 or something like that. I'm like, there's no way Alpha does not need to be that long. Just come out with the game already.
We've hit a 10-year mark at this point of a game in development when a PlayStation 4 was brand new back then. You know.
Anyway, so back to Marvel real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there Kraven the Hunter? Is that coming out?
I haven't heard of that.
I heard it was delayed too.
Because I know Aaron Taylor Johnson's playing Kraven, right?
Well, it's but the funny thing about that, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, because people who shot it, obviously, the Sony Marvel part of Marvel, you could tell they really don't pay attention to details to these characters because Kraven the Hunter in this movie is a animal activist. They're like, how? What? So that's the outline of it. So I don't know if he eventually turns into whatever, but that right there, I don't know if they actually, because I heard the outline and I don't know if they actually went back to I changed some stuff because that doesn't sound right with his character at all.
Boy, Sony.
Spider-Verse. That's another one coming out. Spider-Verse 2.
Oh yeah, that's animation. Yes, that's true. That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. There's also Madam Web. I think that's another one that's coming out too for Sony.
Sony. That's an interest. I'd like to pick up. What's their slate next year look like?
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how to trust them because after Morbius, which I still have not seen, I started watching it on Netflix. I still haven't finished it. But I'm like, yeah.
If you want to laugh, watch it, but don't expect a good movie.
Yeah. No, I don't expect a good movie. I was just curious to see how bad it truly is.
It's horrible.
Look, I'll tell you what. I thought it felt like a standard 90s, like obscure super comic book. I wouldn't say superhero. It's an obscure comic book movie that they just adapted into a movie, and then it never has a sequel. And it's like, well, that was the end of that. That's all it feels like. But I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's because I've heard so many bad things, and I watched it on my phone on an airplane. I was like, I was more entertained on this flight than I thought it would be because of Morbius. Not because I was laughing at things I weren't supposed to. There was the one Matt Smith dance I did laugh at.
Yeah, I mean, but, sorry. Go on.
No, that's all. I was like, I know it's not good. It's one of those like maybe I only watched it once. I don't think I need to watch it again. But I wasn't as just or mortified by how bad it was as I think everyone else is.
Mortified. Anyway,
that's a good one.
Sony has to work on their live action movies. That's really, but I trust them when it comes.
Sony needs to just sell the Marvel rights to Disney.
No, I mean because I trust them with animation. I like the Spider-Verse. Debatably, it is the best Spider-Man movie ever. Debatably.
Oh, okay. Again, this is my opinion.
It's the only one that's won an Oscar.
It's animation though. I have a real separation when it comes to live action and animation.
It's still a movie.
It's okay. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. But what I'm saying is, as far as the live action, I think they need to sell because they're just into just making that money. They don't really care at all about these characters. You know, I mean, I'm sorry to just. I know you guys like Venom. I'm telling you, MCU will probably do 1,000-mile better Venom than Sony did. I mean, come on.
He doesn't love Venom. You can tell by his face. He doesn't love Venom.
I mean, Venom 1 was good. Venom 2 was garbage. The only reason Venom 2 was okay was because of the end credits. That's it. That's really it.
I didn't even see part 2 because I knew it would be garbage.
It's so bad.
Part 1 just
See, I'd agree with that. I'm not gonna lie. I actually like Morbius more than I like Carnage.
Oh, you did? Oh, see now I want to see it for real. Finish.
I mean, if I had to compare story next to story, it's like, wow, at least this was interesting, and I knew nothing about this guy. I mean, look, spoilers a little for Morbius, like little like origin spoilers. Can we at least dip just a little bit into that?
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid how he becomes him. I'm like, what? Like a stupid lab? Ah, now you're like a flying vampire. Like, what the hell? Like it's the dumbest origin ever.
I mean, the Vulture in the movie doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense.
Well, that's because there's so many reshoots that at the end they just left something that didn't make sense. It didn't connect at all, right? So that's what happened.
No, I mean the end credit makes sense. The end credit scene, for example, when he, the rifts were closed again. You see them close, like everyone was supposed to send back to their universe. That's how with Venom, right? Went back to his universe. That's what all went back to universe. But for some reason, Vulture stayed in that one, even though he's from Tom Holland's.
Wait, we know for a fact that all people went back to their universe.
From what we saw from the MCU, yes, except for Vulture.
How?
And that's hearsay. I mean, I don't know. We can't really prove that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, is it because of the spell? I'm the actual act that did it.
Because of the fact that everyone forgot who Peter Parker was. That was supposed to bring. And Vulture definitely knew who Peter Parker was. Definitely. Okay,
so remind me of the end credit scene
in Morbius.
Yeah,
well, he teams up with I can't remember his name now. He teams up with another villain, and he has like this whole new tricked out Vulture suit, which also came out of nowhere. Might have been. I don't think it was Scorpion though in Morbius. I don't remember who it was. But
all right.
Again, I only saw the movie once, and I was not really paying attention full time. But I do remember the end credit for the most part.
They want to kill Spider-Man.
Yes, they want to kill Spider-Man.
They said that in the end credits?
Yes, they basically said like they want to kill Spider-Man. Like it was like a team up to kill Spider-Man, but they're still in the Morbius universe. They're still in they never really went back to theirs. So it's just like a movie that doesn't make any sense. And also he has a whole new Vulture suit. Where did he get that from? He's not from that. If he's not from that universe, like where did he get the equipment to make any of that?
He's not from that universe because then he would have had to live through the Avengers, the first battle where he got all the gear.
And none of that ever happened in the Morbius universe.
How do we know that?
I mean, it's the Sonyverse stuff, so that's MCU Avengers. I mean, look at Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. They didn't even heard of the Avengers.
I swear, just hearing this detail, I'm pretty sure like Kevin Feige, I mean, they must have conversations with whoever's involved in Sony. After watching that, I'm sure they're like, what the hell, man? just sell us the rights. Stop. Yeah. You're fucking up everything. Just stop,
Yeah. I don't like as much as now that everything's fucking weird. The timeline, the multiverses. It's like I'm not going to stare at something and be like, that can't be this universe, that universe. And it's like at this point, Hugh Jackman's coming back. It's like how does that possible?
That's true. Yeah.
All the Sony, we got Sony Spider-Man in Marvel now, like both of them. So it's like kind of like it seems to be.
Well, because the multiverse has that
it opens up that door. Yeah,
you can do whatever you want, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is. So
I don't think it's quite as reckless as it seems. I know that it sounds like we might have caught him here in something, but it's even you, Buck. You're kind of like Endgame you're like that timeline situation is wrong. Like,
well, not the timeline. I thought the time travel part of it just didn't make sense in a lot of ways, and I think they just kind of looked over it and were like, oh, it's fine, But
I think all the multiverse stuff kind of helped explain it a little bit.
Sure.
You know what? I have to see it again. Maybe you're right.
Watch it again.
Yeah. I just think Infinity War is just by far the
best.
Better movie. Endgame was good. I'm not saying it was bad. And that end fight was amazing. But as a movie, out of the two, Infinity War was
superior. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Going back to what's going on with the pushing the dates that Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
This is the time for DC to strike, man. Marvel is hurting. Marvel right now is basically Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. It's the most unstoppable Russian. It's bleeding though. It's bleeding. This is the time to pounce. All these projects that DC had, the Flash, Aquaman 2, Shazam, all these movies are done. Release them now.
Get that shit out there. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get it out there. while they're down and out, because obviously they're hurting right now. They're not hurting, but you could tell they're kind of shooken up right now. They don't know what to do. So I think this is the time for DC. If they have good material, man, get it out there.
That's the problem.
Black Adam's coming out. Yeah, well, we don't know, but no, but you know what? No, seriously though. Yes, I know Black Adam. It's up in the air.
That's the problem. Well, we don't know.
But wait a minute. As much problems as the Flash has had, everyone that has seen it has said it's the best thing DC has done.
That's why they need to get it out. It's like get that shit out there. I want to see our 10 out of 10 DC movie. Go.
Get it out. You know.
And it'll solve their problems. They'll all be like, and Ezra Miller's gone. We don't have to look at him again, you know?
Yeah, they're actually saying, it was actually really good, and Ezra Miller gets his act together. Maybe they'll keep him. Like, hell no.
Didn't he do something again stupid?
No.
He claimed himself to be the savior or the Armageddon, the bringer of doom. The bringer of doom. That was his
Grand Wizard or something. I don't remember that.
Oh God. So, yeah, I'm with you there. Let's say DC. Black Adam. Let's at least say it's a 6 or a 7, and it's like it's entertained. Like if it's, I know you won't agree. If it's at least Venom for me, the first Venom, like all right.
I don't think it'll be that bad. No.
Oh. So, but it has the pull at the end, which like gets everybody excited because now we have a little thing. That's when the next day they need to drop. All right, guys, we got Henry Cavill back. He signed a 10-year contract for Superman, and Ben Affleck is right around the corner. We're working him up too. That's the stuff where it's like, get this stuff going. And we have a movie slated for 2025, Man of Steel 2. Oh my God, let's do this, and that's going to be where Black Adam returns to fight Superman. Like they gotta, as you said, strike while the iron's hot. They need the hype man on there jumping on this. And I worry DC is going to be like, hey, we gave you Henry Cavill. We're cool for a minute, and then just not do anything and back away. And the whole Universal deal is going to happen, and everything's dropped for a moment. We're like, oh, great, what happened? What happens now?
Yeah. Well, let's hope that this new guy who took over Warner Brothers Discovery, man, hopefully, he's different, and he knows what he's doing, and he'll push for it.
I would agree, and I don't want to keep us too much longer. It's getting late. But have you heard what I just mentioned? That and it kind of looks like Universal might just buy out Warner Brothers now.
I heard that.
That acquisition's out. If that happens, the whole Discovery thing is like.
Yeah, because that happens, and this all these like cancellations and everything that this guy's been doing is all because he's gonna sell all this stuff to Universal. So that just brings us back to square one, basically.
Yeah.
So I hope that's not true.
Bills. He's paying some bills right now. Yeah, he's like, let's pay off cut some losses.
Yeah.
Make it bare bones, and now we're selling to Universal.
That would piss me off. Honestly, that would really piss me off because.
Yeah, total business move with people's stuff we care about, and it's like, wow, you just threw our shit down the trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see. All right, so Marvel, get your act together. DC, really get your act together, and we'll see how Mario hops down the tunnel, and gets his superstar.
Let's see.
It's a me, Mario.
It's a me, Mario. Or is it, it's me, Mario.
Hi, it's me.
Mushroom
Mario.
Kingdom, here we come.
It's Chris Pratt, Mario, okay?
He's gonna, Yoshi, 2 Yoshis right here.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yoshi.
That's how he fights Bowser. He's gonna fight Bowser just like
No, Yoshis. Yeah. He's getting Yoshis.
2 Yoshis.
Yeah, we'll see Smash Brothers.
I'm wondering if Yoshi would be in this movie.
Post-credit scene.
Yep. I was like, he's gonna be the Tails.
Scene. Yeah.
Totally Tails. Cracking out from an egg, and he'll show him from behind. Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right, good podcast, guys. Nice talking with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Next time, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen between now and next Wednesday?
Damn.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.